Have you ever noticed that some people walk into a room and immediately know what everyone is feeling? Not because they were taught to, but because they had to. If you grew up in a home where things were unpredictable, where a parent's mood could shift the whole atmosphere in seconds, where you learned early to read the air before you spoke, then you know exactly what I am describing. Here is what was actually happening inside you. When a child grows up in a home where safety is inconsistent, the brain does something remarkable. It reprioritizes. Instead of spending its energy on play, on curiosity, on daydreaming, it pours that energy into reading people, reading rooms, reading small signals that most kids never even notice. The tension in a jar, the silence that lasts 2 seconds too long, the footsteps coming down the hall. Your brain became a precision instrument for detecting what was coming before it arrived. This was not a choice. It was not maturity. It was survival engineering. The threat detection part of your brain, the part that decides what is safe and what is not, was working overtime. It was flooded with information, making thousands of micro-calculations per day, constantly updating its threat map. And the planning part of your brain, the part responsible for reading situations and thinking ahead, got pulled into that same urgent project. So instead of spending your childhood being a child, you became something else. A watcher, a reader, a protector, sometimes of yourself, sometimes of siblings, sometimes of a parent who needed protecting. And then you grew up, and you brought the skill with you. This is what I call early alert wiring, the way a brain that grew up in unpredictability builds a permanent, high-sensitivity detection system for threat, tension, and emotional change. It is not a disorder. It is not damage. It is a survival architecture your brain constructed because the environment required it. The people who carry this wiring are often the first to notice when something is wrong in a relationship, the first to sense tension in a meeting before anyone says a word, the first to know something has shifted, sometimes days before anyone else admits it. What looks like anxiety from the outside is often a detection system running in the background on a constant, quiet scan. What looks like exhaustion is often the cost of a brain that never got permission to go off duty. You were not anxious for no reason. You were not broken. You were running a protection system your brain built in childhood, and it worked. It kept you safe. It got you here. The wiring served a purpose. It just never got the message that the environment changed. If that landed somewhere real, subscribe and tell me, what is the one thing you notice in a room that most people around you seem to miss completely?